Hey, today we are at the World Championship Qualifiers Derby UK Nationals here, and it's one of the top 64s and the only Mermail deck, right?
That's right, only the Mermail deck in the top 64.
Only Mermail deck of today. And what's your name?
My name's Michael Pantelias.
Michael, how do you spell Pantelias? Don't worry, I'll ask you to spell it for me afterwards.
I get asked that a lot.
Alright, and what's your score at the end of this? It's 10 rounds, wasn't it?
It was 10 rounds.
Yep.
I went next one, so 9-1, 9 wins, 1 loss.
And final round you were table 1.
Yes,
well,
and won on table 1 at the end of Swiss.
Yep, alright. And the only Mermails, of course. This deck's been a sort of a seesaw kind of thing. I like playing this deck as well. And you got such an interesting build, so, and you actually top as well with this, so it's quite good. So. Anything else you want to say before we start the deck profile?
Yeah, there's one thing I want to say.
Yep.
I want to encourage a lot of newer players out there to maybe consider going to a Nationals. I know it might seem a big step, but it is a wonderful experience, wonderful learning experience, great chance to meet new players and get to know sort of other decks in the meta, and it's a great chance if you want to learn as well, so I highly recommend that.
It's an amazing experience as well.
Yeah, don't be put off by the competition. A lot of people here have been really friendly.
Just keep going.
Yeah.
Keep at it. Alright, so are you ready then?
Yeah,
Let's go. And these are your stuff that you've won.
Yeah.
Quite nice. The blue ice mat and the sleeve. So and you get your qualification to Euros as well.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that. Alright, so I go straight into the monsters.
Okay, let's go.
So first up with the Atlanteans.
Yep.
Playing triple Atlantean heavy and infantry.
Yep.
Decided to go with triple because mainly because of things like pendulums and floodgates.
Yep.
So it's sort of really good answer to that. It's pretty standard for that. Next up, 2 marksmen.
Yep.
Decided to only go with the 2 marksmen because I'm not seeing a great deal of back row being played.
Yeah.
And I am playing other things like Twin Twister, so back row wasn't such a big issue. But it's been working really well for me. So
2 marksmen.
And then of course the 2 dragoons.
Should be at 3.
Should be at 3, definitely.
Okay.
So some of my opponents may disagree with that, but so pretty standard.
Get your search yourself. Yep.
Yeah.
And
then, without a doubt,
triple
one of the
Neptibus.
MVPs for the day, Neptibus.
Big boost for this deck during Bosch.
Yeah, allows me to toolbox the Atlantean sort of engine, for those of you who don't know, and great chance to sort of get your plays going and potentially maybe even lead to an OTK.
Yep, definitely play 3.
Yep.
One of the best cards in the deck.
Yeah. So that's it for the Atlanteans. Moving on to the Mermails, playing 1 Mermail Abyss gun.
1 gun.
So great for reviving your Mermails.
/4.
Yep. One of the more unusual techs I'm playing today is Mermail Abyss Manda.
Abyss Manda, okay, now when I saw a bit of your deck, I'm so confused. So how does this card work and why do you decide to play today? So how well did it work out for you?
Worked out very well today actually. The way this card works is if it's in your graveyard you can banish it and then you can increase the levels of all Mermails you currently control by either 1 or 2.
Yep.
And
do you usually increase or decrease?
No, it's increased. So you can either increase them by 1 or increase them by 2.
Oh, okay.
So your 7 stars can become 8 stars or potentially 9 stars. That's the way it works. Reason I decided to run this, I'll go into more detail in a second, but it's to do with extra deck monsters and giving me more access to those.
Yep.
Obviously it's searchable via Bistius. And it's just an all-round really great card. It's another little 4 to be actually used with Norden and Instant Fusion.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's been working really well today.
Okay.
Also, the fact that you can banish it and help control the number of waters in the grave for things like Mooling Glacier.
Yep. 1 Manda.
Just the 1 Manda. Then I have 3 Mermail Abystius.
Of course.
Pretty standard for the most part. Great card. Great for getting your plays going and searching out your combo pieces.
Yep.
Very good.
Triple.
And the last of the Mermails is 2 Mermail Abyss Megalo.
The 2, okay.
I elected to only go with 2 over 3 because although this is an amazing card and does lead to a lot of OTKs, it is searchable via Dragoons. And I just felt that 3 clogged, and I did want to keep the monster count quite tight in a way because there were a few techs I wanted to play. So 2's working really well for me.
2 Megalos.
That's it for those, but further in the monster count I was playing another engine, and that was Kaijus.
Kaijus, yeah.
And the Kaiju engine I was running was first off 2 Gameciels.
The 2 war Kaijus, Gameciels.
Water. Great thing about this, although it is an 8, so you can't really XYZ with it with Megalo and Tias. It is a water, so you can discard it for their cost or summon them. And great for getting around things like Beatrice or the Cosmo ships, or potentially floodgates.
Distribute over them.
Exactly. Also playing to combo with those. Also playing 1 Kamungus.
Yes.
And 1 Radian.
So these level 7 Kaijus.
Level 7, so great for XYZ.
Probably a reason why they're 7.
Pretty much, they can also, both of these get over Gameciel, so if I give my opponent the Gameciel, if I have either of these, I can special summon for free. run over the Gamma Seal, and maybe XYZ into a rank 7 main phase 2.
Rank 7.
So, works really well for me.
One Radiant, 1 Sticky Strings, and 2 Gamma Seal for the Kaiju engine.
That's it, yep.
Yep. Great.
Rounding off the monsters, I'm playing the 1 Deep Sea Diva.
Of course, they're busted.
Got to have it.
Insane card, yeah. Very good card in this deck.
1 Mooling Glacier.
Yep.
Was led to a lot of hand loop combos.
Yep.
Really good. And then 1 Gauze.
Oh, the Gauze in the main deck?
Yeah, in the main deck.
That's the one, okay.
Reason for that is, obviously it's another rank 7, potentially XYZ with, level 7 you can potentially XYZ with. The other thing is it has been really helpful in stopping OTKs, particularly with things like extra deck Monarchs, which can maybe go aggressive, and also Cosmos. The other thing about it is that it was really helpful in the mirror. Part of me was expecting the mirror, so I thought this would be a really good card.
Did you play a mirror today?
No mirrors today.
No mirrors, alright.
But was prepped for it. Yeah. And the last of the monsters, of course, triple maxi.
Triple main.
Triple main maxi. You got to have it. If you're not maining it, absolutely side it. Just staple right now in this format. So that's it for the monster count.
Quite a lot,
That's 27 monsters, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
Moving on to spells. The spells I'm playing for the Abyss Skulls, I'm playing the 1 Mizuchi.
Mizuchi for the attack boost.
Yep, just for the attack boost, going for the OTKs, great against things like Monarchs as well.
Negate spell.
Yeah, really good. I decided not to play Cetus, which is the
trap card one.
The trap card one. Although I'm a big fan of that card, especially since it can potentially stop a solemn strike.
Or warnings, yep.
But due to space, I decided only go with the one.
Yeah. Okay. There's 1 Mizuchi, which is
1 Rogeki, standard.
OTKs for this.
Because it is OTKs, I do want that in the main. Be able to
this with Dweller, how many times did you pull it off?
Only once.
Only once today,
But it was really, I think that was against Burning Abyss, so that really helped.
Okay. Raigekas.
1 for 1.
Okay, Nept Abyss.
Yeah, quick access Nept Abyss.
Okay.
2 Twin Twisters.
Main Twin Twisters, yep.
Yep, 2. It's been working quite well for me. This is the only card you would see me set. It's been helping me quite well, getting around things like floodgates and things. Really useful for just clearing any back row, especially when you get things like Odd Eyes Pendulum and they may search their strikes. You just go for this, and also popping their scales, just going off.
What about card demise decks? Did you play any today? So this game.
No card of demise decks.
No card demise decks today.
I was ready for them, but especially the Klee Fork card of demise.
Yep.
Hearing a lot of things about that, but no, I didn't play against those today.
Okay.
But that's what these were for, and ready for those.
Okay, 2 Twin Twisters main. Cool.
Then of course I'm playing triple Instant Fusion.
Triple. Now that Norden's at 1 though.
Even though Norden's at 1, I still want to play the 3 Instant Fusion because you want to see this as soon as possible. It is one of your win conditions. This with Nept Abyss, obviously, and just great for getting your OTKs. Not only that, but Dweller is really, really good against things like Monarchs, Cosmos, and also things like BK.
A lot of decks in the format.
Yeah, so
really good.
I want to see as soon as possible, so that's why I'm playing 3.
Okay.
And the last card. Oh, sorry. One last card is 2 Sacred Sword of 7 Stars.
All right. Back in the Dragon Rulers, aren't we?
Yeah. Blast from the past. So basically, the way this works is you banish a level 7, either you control or in your hand.
The field or hand, yes.
Yep, and then you draw 2.
Yep.
Draw 2 cards. And the great thing about this is that, as you noted, I'm also playing Kaijus, right?
Yeah.
So the Kamungus and the Radiant, both of those are level 7s.
Yeah.
So if you have nothing to tribute off the opponent's field, you can easily just banish them, draw 2. You can banish the Megalos and also the TS. The Megalos are searchable, which is very good. And as the next card you're about to see in the main, so are the Kaijus. So it's just great for if you have any dead cards in hand, just getting your draws. Main reason for this is because Upstart got limited. I was playing triple Upstart.
And then we lost the draw power.
Yeah, so. I don't know why Konami did that, but anyways, the reason for that was another reason I'm playing this is sort of compensate for the lack of Upstart, because I need that.
That makes sense.
Yeah, get to my combo pieces quicker. So, and it's been working really well for me. And the other great thing about it is because I can banish the Gauze or maybe the Gauze token, so that really helped as well.
Okay, so 2 Sacred Swords.
Yeah, 2 Sacred Swords. And the last card in the main is triple
Kaiju Slumber.
And as I mentioned before, you can banish this from the grave, search out Kaiju. So great if you're holding the Sacred Sword.
Yep.
Great for discarding off Twin Twister, because obviously it's useful in the grave. And also for clearing boards as well. Yeah, very good. You really underestimate how useful that is, but it always comes in handy.
Easy, yeah.
So that's it for the main. So that's 13 spells.
So no traps, I'm guessing.
No traps. So 27 monsters. Okay. 27 monsters and the 13 spells.
Okay.
So I'm going to move on to the extra deck now.
Okay.
So obviously playing the 1 Norden.
Yep, done.
You gotta have it.
Soul Northern for the
Yeah.
instant fusion.
The one Tatsunoko, obviously the Diva and Neptibus.
Synchro plays and
gotta have it.
Yep.
Playing one Herald of Arclight.
The reason negate stuff, right?
Yeah, and the idea behind this is if I've opened with Diva and Neptibus, I can then go into summon Diva, go into Neptibus, get Neptibus effect off, then synchro into Tatsunoko, and then with the Tatsunoko with the Neptibus in my hand, and go into Herald of Arclight, and then maybe drop a Mooning Glacier and activate its effect. If they have any monsters in their hand, those would then be banished.
Yeah.
Which is very
of course, because of this.
Yeah.
That's very nice.
And this is also just another card to potentially defend yourself with.
And negate a card.
Yeah. So great for just like a turn one board if you get that hand going. One Stardust Charge Warrior.
Okay, you draw a card with this. Right?
Yeah, I was tempted to play Jaloran, but let's go with this just because draw power is amazing. Especially with this deck, one card just makes a huge difference.
So this is usually made with Diva plus a level 4, probably a Mermail.
D plus level 4, yes.
Or Tatsunoko.
Or Tatsunoko with like a marksman
in hand. Yeah.
Or a Gund in hand, maybe. Another thing is if I have Diva Neptibus, I can maybe tribute off the Neptibus for Megalos effect, bring back Dragoons, then Dragoons plus Diva into this, draw a card, and it's the same attack, 18 plus 200, so you're not really losing anything, you're just gaining advantage.
Okay, so Charge Warrior, level 6 guy.
Yeah, 7s, I'm playing one Odd-Eyes Meteor Burst Dragon. That was mainly just because of things like Cosmo and also BA, things like that. Go into the battle phase, monster effects on their side of the field no longer active, so you can attack without any worries. It just really helps you against things like that. You don't have to worry about it, and you just amass huge advantage, especially when you're running over things like not Dante's, but any floating Burning Abyss monsters out there. Or
Beatrice.
Beatrice. Then no more 7s. I was running a Black Rose at one point, but I had to drop that just because of lack of space. And ultimately I felt like a lot of the times I would be controlling the board when I'd go into it, and I didn't really always fancy the field nuke. But Black Rose is definitely a solid option if you still want to consider it.
Need to play.
Then of course Trishula.
Gotta
have it.
Everything.
I think I made it a couple of times today. Really came in handy. Just all round great card. And then last of the synchros is of course Leo.
Leo for level 10 players.
Moving on to the XYZs.
So that's all the synchros and fusions?
Yeah, that's all the synchros. Moving on to the XYZs, I'm playing just the one Dweller.
Just the one, alright.
Was tempted to play 2 Dwellers.
Second one,
but again, because of lack of room in the extract is ridiculously tight.
That's true.
This is just personal preference. You can absolutely play 2, but this is just something I decided on.
Okay.
It definitely helps me a lot today.
One Dweller.
One Silent Monarch.
101, alright. This card's being dropped in a lot of decks, so did it come in useful?
I have noticed that it came very useful to me. Believe it or not, I faced a Medolce deck today.
Medolce?
Yeah, Medolce.
Yeah.
Really great deck. At one point he went into Hoot Cake off Angeli and got Hoot Cake's effect off, and Hoot Cake of course is immune to battle. So I did was I went into Monarch, I detached two Dragoons, believe it or not, for that effect.
You searched twice.
Searched twice, and be able to absorb Hoot Cake, so I managed to get around that. But just a really great card, especially when you want to clear threats and be able to safely attack the game. And at the same time still triggering Dragoons, so really useful for that.
101.
Yeah. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that name.
Okay,
number 37.
Blah, blah, blah. It's Dragon Spider Shark or something.
He only came in helpful, I think, once today, and that was just to help me run over something. Is a really nice effect, is a bit situational. A lot of times you are going to go into the Dweller, because it's sort of your go-to XYZ, but it did come in handy. It is a force of water at the end of the day. And his last effect, his secondary effect...
Monster Reborn, right?
It is a Monster Reborn.
Monster Reborn,
So thank you, Konami, for that.
So you bring back Norden and then you bring back... Alright. And Megalo, bring back Megalo.
Absolutely,
Okay, so...
And the last of the rank 4s was Castell. This was a second Dweller up until sort of the last few days, up until the Nationals. The reason I dropped Dweller for the Castell was just to answer Floodgates. I realised that if my opponent played Floodgate, it'd be harder, outside of things like Twister and Infantry, if it wasn't already stopping the Infantry, to be able to just safely bounce it. And this did come up once, so this did really help me. And this will just player preference. Castells pretty much goes into all my decks.
On the best rank 4s, right? That's there. Even though it's not water.
No, even though it's not water, that's the only chance.
Water. Okay.
Going on to the rank 7s, I'm
rank
playing...
7s now.
One Red Flare Metal Dragon.
Okay, it's hard to see this one, but it's actually
it's a ghost
Red Ice Flare Metal Dragon.
Red Ice Flare Metal Dragon. Just really useful card. A lot of the times you're going for the OTK, you may not always get the OTK in those rare circumstances.
They'll have no life points at that point, right?
And in those scenarios, your opponent will not have a great deal of life points. So in that case, you can overlay into the Red Flare and sort of burn your opponent out. For those of you who don't know, this card is immune to destruction
as well,
while it has XYZ materials. The first effects are relevant, but the second effect, every time your opponent plays a card effect, while this card has XYZ materials, I think it is, you take 500 damage. This is just great for whittling them down to 0 after you've gone for your
just in
big
case you
push.
missed the OTK turn before.
And yeah, just great card. Really limits the number of cards they can play after that. So just an all-round great card. I was playing Draco Sack, but a lot of the times I actually didn't. Believe it or not, I didn't have room for the tokens.
Oh, on the field, yeah.
So, and although I was tempted to put Draco in, just because of being able to answer things like pendulum scales, and potentially floodgates in some ways, it was just mainly to. I just decided to go with the red flare, and I honestly didn't look back.
How many times did you make it today?
Only a couple of times.
Oh, yesterday as well.
It was once today and once yesterday.
All right, so twice in the whole time.
Yeah. Didn't help me that much today, but yesterday it really did put in work. Cool. And as you the last of the Rec 7s is, of course, MERMAIL KAIJU.
Yes.
You've got to have it. Really great card, especially for locking down your opponent's plays. Equipping this with your
Mizuchi.
With the Abyss Scale of Mizuchi, Mizuchi is really great, obviously. Bringing up to 3600 attack. And just an all-round great card, being able to control
pretty much every monster on the field.
And also level 5 or higher cannot declare an attack, which is really useful. Believe it or not, that really does come in handy. So there's that. And as you noticed, I was playing Abyssmander.
Yes.
And the reason for that is to be able to go into Titanic Galaxy.
And there's a
so he's a rank. Yeah. So he's all right.
So Titanic Galaxy.
Yeah. So he's a rank 8. So the way you'd go into that is I'd go for Tias, discard something for Tias, search out Abyssmander, and then discard the Abyssmander for Megalo. And then after I go for my big push, like against Monarchs or something, most likely, most of the time against Monarchs, I would then banish Abyssmander. Both of those become 8. I would make them 8 and overlay them into Titanic. And this brilliant card. Really saved me a couple of times. And just great for locking down the opponent's spells. I mean, Mizuchi already does that, but this guy does it to an even greater extent. Because for those of you who don't know, Mizuchi only negates the effect, doesn't destroy the card. So not that good against pendulum scales. Actually, or field spells. Actually useless against pendulum scales. But this card obviously really great and
just eat the scale.
And the last card I'm playing in
the Galaxy.
And the last card I'm playing in the extra deck is one Dante. And I'll get onto the reason. I'll get onto the reasons for that when I move on to the side deck.
I'm guessing you never made this card.
No, I never made this card. Really tempting at one point.
I'd rather make it, but
So now for the side deck. I'm playing 2 Fog King.
Of course, Monarchs.
So that's for Monarchs. Also Magispectors. He's also, the great thing about this is he's also a level 7, so he feels your Sacred Sword of 7 stars.
Also a water monster.
Also water. Ridiculous. Level 7 water, And it's great. The great thing about MERMAIL is you can special things like Abystius or Megalo or potentially even a Kaiju or even instant fusion into Dragoons and then tribute them for him. And Monarchs just have a hard time getting around this. I think the only time I summoned this Monarch player, I just didn't have an out to it. And I think the only out they have to it is a Regeki if they're playing it.
Something like that,
So all round really great card, highly recommend it. It's a great card.
It's Monarchs.
Playing the 1 system down.
For Cosmos?
I'm not a huge fan of this card. This set didn't actually help me much. I never drew it, I think, in the Cosmo matchup. But the reason I'm not a fan of this card is because a lot of the times your opponent won't always have a machine on the field.
They'll have psychics.
Not Cosmo ship, they'll have a psychic Cosmo pilot. So you can either go into the battle phase and force them to go into the ship, but then you've lost your battle phase. And for this deck, that's not that good at all.
Would you swap it for something else then?
I would swap for something else. Another reason for this, I should add, was for Cleefort, because obviously they're machines, good answer to that. But this didn't really come up, so up to the last minute I had, this was a 3rd Fog King, but ultimately I would revert back to my previous decision and drop this for a 3rd Fog King. Alright. But it's player preference. It does hit the graveyard as well, which stops them Call of Haunting, losing Call of Haunted, but again, at the end of the day, it's just player preference. Playing 3 Artifact Lancia.
What's this card for which matchup?
It's for Cosmo, to some extent Monarchs, and also for PK Fire. It's mainly for Cosmo. Reason for that is because I'm not a huge fan of Imperial Iron Wall, because that can be answered with things like
Slip Rider.
Tribute
summon into it.
Obviously you flip the Imperial Iron Wall, they can chain the pilot, go into Slip Rider.
As well,
Excuse me. And just answer the floodgates. So I'm not a huge fan of that card. However, this card, on the other hand, also it does stop your Abyssman as well, banishing. That's minimal. The reason I'm such a fan of this card is you can use it's active turn 1 against the opponent. For those of you who don't know, that there is a variant of Cosmo going around, which is Fire King
Cosmo. So these wombo combo turn 1.
Yeah, and the great thing about this is they would pop their field spell, which is the Fire King Island, to stop you popping it on your turn. And the great thing is you can chain it to a Viking Island.
In the grave activation.
Yeah, and their ships can't banish, and they just
lose cards.
It interrupts their combo, and it's just such a huge upset. And it's great for potentially just tributing this from your hand, because you can tribute this from your hand. Don't think you have to set it or summon it or anything like that.
You can
just tribute it from hand. And it can pretty much allow you to go aggressive that turn. If your opponent has like a Cosmo ship or the Prime Monarch in their grave, they have to go for it then. So it's just great for sort of drawing that out, and it's great. Also against PK5 for maybe locking them down that turn,
so them searches and stuff.
Yes, exactly, searching their trap cards.
Blade and stuff.
So definitely a really good card. But again, at the end of the day, it's player preference.
Okay.
Next card in the side deck is the 1 Twin Twister.
The third one.
Yeah, just the third one, and that honestly that goes in against pretty much everything nowadays. But I would consider trying to bump this up to 3 in the main deck, so free up the slot in the side deck. But definitely really came in handy, especially against backer heavy decks, and also against pendulum decks as well.
Yeah.
And at one point and at one point for Alting Domain as well, if you want to make your instant fusions live.
Yeah.
So a great card. Then I'm playing 2 Ghost Ogres.
Which matchup is this one for?
This is actually quite a general card in the side deck. I guess one of the more specific matchups is Odd Eyes Pendulum, or Dracopals, or whatever it's being called nowadays. But that's
the Sky Iris ones.
Yeah, and that's just for outing things like Monkey Board and Sky Iris and things like that. And it's just a really great card. Also, a good answer to Dweller. It won't negate the effect of Dweller, but it would,
it will kill the Dweller.
Yeah, it would kill the Dweller.
Just get it out of the way.
Yeah, and it's also good. Another good thing about it is Clee Forts. I know some of them are playing lose 1 turn, and this is a good answer to the switching battle mode position of lose 1 turn.
Yeah.
So you can just discard a pot it.
Yeah.
All around a really great card. Also, it's a tuner at the end of the day, so you can always synchro with it.
So there was tuner available.
Yeah. Okay. Next card in the side deck is 3 Ghost Reaper Winter Cherries.
So that's why you play Dante.
That's why I'm playing the Dante. Did come up at one point. My opponent turn 1 summoned Torgai, went into Sir. I discarded this, banished all 3 Dantes, and they were forced to end their turn right there. Just because it's such a huge upset losing their 3 Dantes.
They can't really play anymore, Yu-Gi-Ohs.
And obviously losing the Dantes sort of answers the Beatrice as well.
Yeah.
So obviously I can't go into that.
Yeah.
Another great thing about this card is it's great in the mirror to some extent, because
you hit the Dweller.
You can hit the Dweller or the Norden. Yeah, so great for that.
So they go instant fusion, drop this.
Yeah.
They have nothing.
Providing you meet the requirements, they do have to control more monsters than you.
Yeah.
And it did really come in handy in that matchup, and just a really good card in my opinion. So I decided to play it.
Winter Cherries.
Yeah.
3 for Winter Cherries. Okay.
And the last card in the side deck is 3 Anti-Spell Fragrance.
Of course, for Monarchs, I'm guessing, and Pendulums.
For Monarchs and also for Pendulums. Definitely one of the MVP cards in the side deck. Really helps me a lot against Monarchs. A lot of the times I risked going first against Monarchs just to open with this, and quite a few times it paid off. There's just such a huge break on their momentum. They force them to set their cards, and then you can retaliate with things like Marksman. Suddenly Atlantean Marksman becomes alive in that matchup, because then you can pop their set cards. And just such an amazing card. Obviously you can't set in the Pendulum Zone, so just great for stopping them right then and there. And you could argue it does slow me down to an extent. It does slow,
slightly,
but you would side out some of your spells to put this in.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times if you've got this face up, you're actually doing quite well to begin with. And it didn't really slow me down too much. But
definitely 3 anti-spells.
Yeah. But just an all-round really great card, so I think it's definitely something to consider in the side deck. And that rounds up the side deck.
So the side deck then?
Yeah.
That's the whole side extra main?
Yeah.
Any shout-outs before we finish?
Yeah, I'd like to give a shout-out to my team and club, which is Zephyr War Games.
Zephyr War Games. Okay.
Zephyr War Games, I will spell that. It is ZEPHYR.
Yeah, I'll put a link around somewhere down here.
So
I don't know.
Please like, comment, subscribe to us.
Check them out.
We're a relatively new channel, but we're trying to get some content out there, deck profiles, profiles, Jules. So please subscribe, stay tuned for a lot of great stuff. Another shout out I'd like to give is to the Dark Arts, which is my locals in Cockfosters in London. Just all around great set of guys. They are tier 0 games, and I'm sure quite a few of you might already know them. And just all around great set of guys. And shout out to my teammates supporting me and helping me play test and help me get to.
It is really interesting build.
Yeah, help me get to this stage with my deck list, and just really happy to be here. Wonderful experience, and
congrats on top.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah. All right, see you at Euros, mate, and once again,
see you at Euros.
Yeah, see you at Euros.
Take
mate.
care.
Take care.
Right.
Thanks for that, man. Cheers.
Bye.